Welcome back to Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. For those of you that are watching on the YouTube stream, congratulations if you called in for one of these investing classes. But also make sure to check out the podcast on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. If you missed tickets for this investing class, you can text the word investing to the number 210-210 right now. These are 2-hour classes that we do during the week, also on the weekends, and making that knowledge and that transfer into skill, starting that process with the knowledge and right in these investing classes. So text the word investing to the number 210 for 2 seats for this class. And Al, as I mentioned in the last segment, I want to talk a little bit about something about the GOAT, the arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady, retires for the second time. I think this is the second and the last time.
I believe this is final.
I believe it as well, but one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history, almost the best athlete if you really want to talk about it. You have phenomenal athletes like Tom Brady, you have Serena Williams, you have Michael Jordan, you have different athletes that are the best at their craft. And the reason I wanted to bring up Tom Brady is because he's a great talent, but he never did this alone. He had a team.
Right.
They had plays, they had different formations, they had different things they were doing, and they played once a week for 17 weeks. And they had a coach.
Right.
He had a coach to guide him through and teach him a lot of the skills and techniques. Bill Belichick being one of them, training him on how to do certain things, and leading the team. And that's a big thing that Tom Brady did, was he was able to lead that team under the guidance of really the leader, which was Bill Belichick.
Sure.
Did the same thing in Tampa Bay. I like to call it Tampa Bay, but had a great quarterbacks coach. He had Byron Leftwich there, so he had people that in his corner that were guiding him through his sports or football decisions. So he didn't have to do it alone. He didn't have to reinvent the wheel. Very similar to the stock market. We do not need to reinvent the wheel in the stock market. There are strategies that Online Trading Academy has been evolving over 25 years, so that way you don't have to reinvent that wheel, but they can guide you through those investment decisions, whether it's for income strategies or retirement. I want you to talk about Online Trading Academy's core strategy that helps guide people through that, and then we're going to talk more about the mentoring and how to help people make those smart decisions on an ongoing basis.
Yeah, well, I think what's important to remember is that there's all sorts of strategies out there that people are trying to push on you. You can go to the library or Barnes and Noble, as I mention all the time, and you'll see hundreds of books on different strategies. You and I get maybe 50 to 100 emails every day.
Basically
from people
garbage.
pushing a strategy. Those strategies might work for a while. Most of them are just basically pushed on you so you will buy a program from somebody. And here's the bottom line. There's only one thing that has always worked, is working now, and will always work, and that's that relationship between supply and demand.
Yep.
In the markets, it's the relationship between buyers and sellers. That's what drives the market. If you are going to participate in the financial markets to benefit financially, in other words, let's say it's making money, which is what we all want to do in the markets. If you want to do that, you have to give yourself the greatest opportunity of being successful. That's identifying where the buyers and sellers are going to be active, because that's what drives price, and that's the most important thing. Our core strategy is based on that supply and demand. It's based on basically an imbalance between buyers and sellers. Bottom line, when there's more buyers for something, price will go up, and when there's more sellers for something, price will go down. And the key is to be able to identify where the activity will take place before it takes place. That's what our core strategy has been built on. And we always say that it's a timing strategy. And people say, well, you can't time the market.
Well, who's saying that?
Well, it's people that don't know how to do it or don't want you to do it. But we're not saying we're going to time the change in the market. We're not going to time what's going to happen in the market in 6 months or a year. What we're doing is helping you time the right time to enter a position and exit a position.
And that's where you kicked off the show about being in the right place at the right time.
Exactly.
But with that core strategy, it's step by step. It's doing something about it.
That's the doing something about it part. And you have to do something that works in your favor. That's the simplicity of it. is identifying something that has the least amount of risk with the greatest profit potential and the greatest opportunity of moving in your favor. The three things that are really key to being successful. That's what Online Trading Academy's core strategy was built around and taught by people that live this, that do this on a daily basis, that have done it maybe professionally. And then it's also taught to you with guidance by somebody who can help you through that skill building process. And you know what? No matter how much knowledge and skill you have, there's always going to be a situation that comes up that maybe is a little confusing or maybe you weren't quite prepared for. So if you got your education on YouTube, how do you go to YouTube and get an answer? Or if you went to a weekend seminar at a hotel, do you think you can go back there in a week or two or a month and
That's
find?
funny. That's funny you bring that up because everybody thinks that YouTube is this holy grail on education. It's
Sure.
entertainment.
Yeah.
It's entertainment is what it is.
Right, but you have to be able to contact somebody and get answers to questions that you have. You don't want to be guessing and just crossing your fingers and hoping you made the right decision. You can have the patience if something isn't working right, have somebody you can contact. That's what I think one of the biggest things that OTA provides for their students is that kind of after education part.
Yeah.
It's the support that's provided not only by our student support specialists, but also by other students.
Yeah.
And we find that a lot where students that have been around for a while that have achieved a high level of success more than willing to help and mentor other students that are maybe newer or struggling.
That's really the community that we've built over 25 years. I mentioned we were talking about Tom Brady. He doesn't hang around. I'm just guessing, but he probably doesn't hang around drug dealers. He probably doesn't hang around construction people or accountants. He's hanging out around other athletes, like-minded people. And that's the same thing in the financial markets, is being able to be around like-minded people. That with the clubs that we've created over here, we got thousands and thousands of people at Online Trading Academy that clubs. We actually can facilitate some of that here at the center. Here we have a couple different classrooms, and there's people here. Seems like every single day. It seems like usually it's over lunchtime because they allude the Online Trading Academy to the Online Eating Academy sometimes.
Right.
We do have pretty good lunches here several days per month, but that's the cool thing about trading and investing. People are looking for clubs. It's very hard to find a club online. There are several, just to be quite frank, but it's hard to have a strategy or a club where you have one person doing one thing, another person doing something totally different, and everybody's doing something totally different in the markets and never have really learned that knowledge and skill. At Online Trading Academy, everybody is doing the same core strategy, and that's that core strategy that with the relationship of supply and demand, and that can't be changed. Just talk a little bit about, in about 1 minute, Al, what some of the comments that you've been receiving about the clubs that we've been having here.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was just thinking we had a student come through here maybe a couple of weeks ago who had actually been a floor trader, and he's now trading for his income. That's what he does. And he said, the reason I'm here is that I'm looking for a community. I'm looking for maybe groups that I can participate in. And that's what we see here a lot. I think if you asked any one of, I think we've got almost 3,000 students, like in the Minneapolis area, for example. But if you ask them what's one of the biggest advantages of being a student, I think they're going to say it's that community aspect. It's being able to come in not only to spend time with other students, but spend time with our student support specialists, guys that are here to work with them one-on-one or in groups and just to help with, not only help with issues, but also maybe help to kind of accelerate your learning. And there are some people that just just want to do this quick and be successful quickly. Well, maybe these guys can help you. If you want to come in and spend time with any one of us here, that's what we're here for, is to work with you, to make sure that you have the opportunity to be successful. We'll provide the knowledge, we'll help you build the skills, and also the tools and the strategies to take advantage of whatever's happening in whatever market condition.
Yeah, and I like how you mentioned some people want to do this and learn this the quickest way possible, but always keep in your mind, this is a marathon, not a sprint. If you want to build longevity in the markets, you have to have a consistent strategy, and you really got to have the people around you, the community, the different clubs, and all be doing the same strategy. That's what we do at Online Trading Academy. We've had a lot of people texting in for this free class here locally here, And for those of you that want to see these techniques and concepts and really have some fun about the markets, these are a phenomenal industry to be involved in. It's a great market, just like sports. If it's not sports for me, it's the markets. So text the word investing right now to the number 210 for 2 seats for this investing class and see what we're talking about here today. We had a good time talking about all this stuff. Text the word investing to the number 210 right now for 2 seats. We talked about a lot of sports analogies, referencing them into the stock market, and you dropped a lot of knowledge today and tips. Let's hear today's OTA tip of the week.
Okay. Well, it's when you stop thinking small that you start to achieve big things. The goals that scare you are the ones that are worth pursuing and are going to make you better once you go after them. It all starts with your mind. If you think positively and you convince your mind that you can do something, then you're more likely going to be able to actually do it. The only real limits that you have are the ones that you create inside your own mind. Remember that your present situation is not your final destination. Think positive and make the best yet to come.
I like that. You were kind of I was kind of thinking about the movie Limitless. There was no limits in anything that Bradley Cooper was doing in that movie. And that's very, similar in the markets. There's no limits, but you have to remove any obstacles. That quote by Henry Ford. Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goal. Keep that eye on the goal. Don't let any obstacles slow you down. Come into one of these classes and start to build that financial future. Text investing to the number 210. As always, same time, same place next week. Until then, retire young, my friends.